Hello and welcome to Here Geek Presents very first live stream. And I'm here today with Animaine, and we're going to talk about a subject that's been the cause of a lot of controversy for me. We're going to talk about my general, my general dislike of manga and anime. Um,
Canceled. You're canceled
yeah, I'm
already.
canceled.
Done
Like
with you.
that's it. I'm done. You
Never
know,
talking to
uh,
you again.
no. And me and Animaine have been discussing this ever since we met a while ago.
Hmm.
He's been trying to get to the bottom of why I just don't respond to manga and to anime. And he's asking me a bunch of questions, and I've tried to explain to him. And until recently, he didn't understand it. Recently, he let me know, like, all right, I get it now. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was
I'm going to shut up
it
now.
was it was for it was sort of um a real uphill battle for me because as someone who's been a lifelong fan of anime and by extension manga, I just really have a hard time accepting that, there's like almost no anime for a person. I'm one of those people that think, yo, there's some out there for everyone. And to your in defense, my boy Hirogi here, he does have his core few anime that he's like, yeah, I can rock out with these.
Mm-hmm.
And when he starts going in depth on that, you guys are going to see some trends as to his anime tastes. And when I started to notice that, I just started to say, yeah, anime in general probably just isn't for him. But I
Mm-hmm.
still would like a little bit more. I kind of want to unpack some of this because I think it's
Yeah.
just a
That's
dope
that's why
discussion.
I'm doing this. I'm doing this to unpack even more, to like explain myself even more. And I think you're a great guy to do that with. So that's why I invited you on. So
Hmm. Real quick, I just want to see. I got a couple. We got a couple regulars in the chat here.
yeah.
I'm seeing my boy Arno. He's real live on Twitter and on YouTube. Just real live in the comment sections, man. What's up? Hey, also shout out to Omega. Thank y'all for coming through, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm real
Yeah.
glad y'all could come through for this. This is
Yeah.
definitely something I would like to have eyes on, like right away. And if
Mm-hmm.
y'all have any questions or
Yeah,
want
just
some
drop them.
explanations,
Yeah.
just throw them out there. One of us sees it, we'll pick it up and we'll address it.
Yeah.
This ain't no like debate herder, you're bad,
No, no, no,
stupid
no.
weeb, you suck, you don't like anime. Like, no, man, this is just we cool, we friends. We just want to chop it up about something. That's all.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So drop it. What do you got?
Okay. First of all, I did kind of want to get your thoughts just in general. I guess maybe for those who aren't familiar with your position in general, if
Mm-hmm.
you could kind of just break down like what do you think it is about anime that sort of is that block for you?
Okay, I've tried to dissect this as best I can. I've thought about it a lot. Try to, try to understand why I just don't respond to it. Essentially, I think it's just a fundamental dislike of the way the Japanese write their stories or write their characters. Um, you know what? I'm gonna use Deku from My Hero Academia as an example. Now,
All
I
right.
thought I thought I was a fan of the actual of the show, but it turns out I'm only a fan of All Might because without All Might, it's just your basic run of the mill shonen anime that I've seen in Naruto and in Dragon Ball Z and in everything else. And it's, Deku's the same character as Naruto. He's the same character.
No,
And
no, go ahead.
so, okay, take for example Deku. He wants to be this hero. That's great, but I don't understand his desire to have Bakugo like him or approve of him. Bakugo is a giant douchebag. Like, why does Deku care about what he thinks? Why? I can't wrap my head around. I can't relate to a character like that. I just can't.
Come on, man. Wait, so you mean to tell me you never had someone who was a bully to you for all the first few years of your life, and then you grew up or you got older because they're not even grown, but you didn't get older, and then suddenly y'all are fighting side by side?
I haven't seen past season 3, but I don't see that happening.
Hmm. Okay, real quick, I did kind of want to touch on something. You said Deku's sort of like put you in the mind of a standard shonen protagonist or anime
Mm-hmm.
protagonist.
Yeah.
That's actually probably one of the first times I've ever heard that. Now, don't get it twisted. Like Deku definitely has a reputation of sort of a lot of folks not vibing with him that much, but usually it's for like the exact opposite reason. The fact that he's always crying, like I
Oh,
swear
that's
to
annoying as
God,
hell. That I
this
hate
man
that
just will
that
not stop
that
crying.
that's annoying. He's just really emotional. It's like, come on, you're crying again, really?
Like
Again?
5 times in one episode. Like first he cried when he remembered when his mom told him he couldn't be a superhero.
Yeah.
Then he cried when All Might said he couldn't be a superhero. Then he cried when All Might said, "Yeah, you can be a superhero." And I also understand sort of more of your connection with All Might because knowing that you're definitely more into the Western and particular superhero genre, uh, you All Might is
Oh yeah, wait,
essentially tailor made for you.
I forgot to put the link in the Twitter. Hold on, darn it.
Okay, no problem.
Where can I do that?
I don't live stream. You should probably just be able to copy the link like you would for a like the share link and then share that on Twitter. Like probably in the same space where you would for a video that's already live.
Yeah, let me put the Twitter. Oh, actually, Omega already did it for me. Wow, that is so
Omega is the
nice.
MVP. Let's go.
That is awesome.
Love it.
All
I'm gonna
right,
retweet it too as
he's
soon as I see it. I'm about to go do it right now.
yeah. I'm gonna retweet it too. Goodness,
Nice.
he's
Look at
on
us,
point,
man.
man. Thank you,
Look at
man.
us.
That's
We got an
awesome.
audience that's out here just doing the work that we forget to do. Look, man, we new to this. Like I don't live stream. This
I don't
is
live
first
stream
live
much either.
stream.
Yeah, so
We figuring this stuff out as we go, man. So be patient with us. Don't trip because the Lord ain't through with us yet. But
yeah,
I'm liking it. I'm liking it.
awesome. Okay, so we're good on that. So hopefully we'll have more people join us. All right.
Heck yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So you were saying about All Might and whatever.
Yeah, definitely. All Might is tailor made for you because he is essentially like he's literally anime Superman. So like the fact that he just essentially walked right out of an American comic book franchise means that he's definitely going to appeal to you. And since he's your favorite character, once he stops being prominent in the story, your interest is going to wane.
Yeah.
But I just find it a little odd that you can't find no one else in the show to connect with. Like Deku, okay, he a crybaby. He reminds you of other shonen protagonists that you really don't care for, even though Zach's
I did hear this a
well.
character. I hear there's a character later on that a lot of people think I might connect with. I just have to find the motivation to get to where that character shows up.
I think I know who you're talking about, and I definitely think he will do it for you as well.
Yeah.
I haven't made it in that show. I watched like up to the finale of. Oh, by the way, spoilers for everything we talk about. So just to get that out there.
I only saw up to season 3, which is when All Might fights All for One.
Yeah, that's the same place I dropped off at.
Okay.
Hey, real quick, I think Omega in here is talking about something here. He says, also, my dad dropped anime and manga due to all the fan service. And Ryep, ooh, that's a he grew up watching anime from the 90s, just pointing that out. Yeah, I can understand that because there, especially in more of the mainstream, a lot of the mainstream titles, there's a lot of like gratuitous fan service stuff that's just there to titillate you, and if that's not your bag, it's gonna kind of
the beach episode is one.
Yeah, every show got a beach episode, and now as a pervy heathen, you know that don't bother me none at all. But I can definitely see how if that's not your bag, then you know it might put you off a bit. But there's plenty of shows out there that either do it very tastefully or that don't do it at all.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of you can't really judge an entire medium based on just the stuff that everyone knows. Like, oh well, this anime X has all these titties and stuff in there. Y'all just want to see anime titties. Like, bro, that's like There's like 90% of anime series out there that have nothing to do with any of that.
Yeah, and I'm not saying genuine comics says fan service rocks, and I'm not saying fan service is a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
I might have some fan service in Paragon Prime. I mean, I'm not completely against it. It's just,
Yeah, I bet.
it's just. I think sometimes it can go too far, and they can take it too far. And I think
Yeah,
anime can take it too far a lot of times, in my opinion.
I can see that, but honestly, when comparing that to like a lot of the I don't know if salacious is the right word, but a lot of the more edgier like American comic titles, like you know me, like Starfire is Bay. I will love her until they throw dirt on my coffin.
Yeah.
But you look up a lot of them old outfits, man, and then the new 52 version, oof,
Oh,
like you want to talk about some
yeah.
fan service.
That was yeah. That was
Starfire's canonical name in like when she was in Red Hood and the Outlaws, her real name, her last name is actually fan service because that's all. It's just there to be like ogled, like,
yeah.
and
At
she's
least
already a very sexual
at least they
character, but
were at
they
least they
upped it.
were at least they were like honest about it at that point.
I mean, yeah, but so is anime. Like what anime do you know that has fan service that tries to like skirt around it? Like anime is very
Mm,
self-aware when it comes to fan
yeah.
service. Like it's clearly there. And then that's not the only reason why the characters exist. Like there will be various characters that show off skin and have all the crotch shots or the
Well, see, the
boob
thing is though,
shots,
okay,
but they're still full
you know what?
characters.
Let's take for example an American comic book example of that kind of fan service, and I think you're gonna agree with this also. You already mentioned Starfire, but let's talk about She-Hulk.
Okay.
Let's talk about the '80s She-Hulk comic.
Yeah, definitely. That was
You
pure. That
know,
was the whole purpose of her having that form was because that's how she wanted to be,
or
her fully actualized
or
self.
you know what? We can even talk about a comic that you and I both enjoy immensely, Common America. There's
Mhm.
quite a bit of fan service to Common America, but it's not at the expense of the storytelling or the characters. I feel,
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
that way that in that comic is done very very well.
Yeah,
Um,
and I'll definitely be one of the first to say there are some anime that I think lean too heavily into it, but those, at least if we're talking about like recent anime, like it knows what it's doing. Like it's there for a reason and there's like no bones about it. But you also have various series where there are some shots where it's there for a reason, but they're still full characters. Like one show that I love to death right now is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. It's the cutest little slice life anime about dragon people, mostly women and girls, that come over here and live with humans, right? And
mhm.
you have all types of characters from Toru to Lukoa, who are like Lukoa's whole thing is she walks around and she's like fully stacked for no reason. She got like triple H cups and they're just always bouncing everywhere. I think the latest episode, she's in a bathtub. I mean, it's not like full nudity, but like you just see her like boobs just floating in the water, just bouncing as stuff is happening, making stuff shake. So clearly that's there for fan service. But she is also a genuine character that exists not only to advance the plot, but bring deeper levels of characterization to the main cast. Like
Mhm.
you can have both. And I think that's one thing that a lot that more anime critics harp on a bit too much, in my opinion. They say, "Oh, there's so much fan service. There's so much fan service." Fan service doesn't have just like you said with Common America. There's plenty of shots, panels in Common America that they clearly put in there just for you to go, "Damn, them some tig old bitties," or "That's America's ass." Does it take away from the story? Does it make you care less about Carly or Misha or anybody
No,
else?
you're right. You're right. I have to admit that. Um, and let's see some comments here. I think it's just tough. Who's writing one of my comments, by the way? Because I saw that you mentioned on another stream that you like Cowboy Bebop and Trigun. I did try Outlaw Star. He mentioned Outlaw Star, so I did try Outlaw Star because
I
you
tried,
recommended
y'all.
it to me.
He just ain't feeling Gene Starwin.
I just wasn't feeling it. Like it's weird. I just got through like the first two episodes, and then I just kind of never went back. You know,
Now, was it anything in particular that sort of turned you off, or you just lost interest in everything?
it was just kind of a lost interest thing. Maybe
That's really
maybe
weird.
one day I'll go back to it.
I think you should, because honestly, I still need to pick up Gunsword, which is one of his five for y'all listen.
Yeah.
Gunsword is one of his five cherished anime that he likes, and he holds it up sort of on this plaque, like he has it plastered in his mind because he's like, yeah, my favorite anime is one that like no one else knows about, and no
No,
one
and
even had to tell
every
me to go
yeah,
watch it.
everyone I've told to. I mean, actually, you know what? Omega Katana does know about it because on the podcast last night I mentioned it, and he knows about it. So that's pretty awesome.
Okay, that's
So
literally the
yeah,
first.
yeah, but I think it's an amazing anime. And the most anime that I like is Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball.
Yes. And that's a real head scratcher for me because one thing I notice, and y'all may pick this up too, if you hear it, what when Hero Geek is breaking down some of his liked anime, you'll notice that most of them tend to be more Western influence or focus. Like they'll have stuff about cowboys or space westerns and stuff like that. And then and then here's the original Dragon Ball, which is literally in terms of OG anime, it's as Eastern as you can get.
It is. It is.
As Eastern as you can get.
I really appealed to Kirigoku a lot. Like I love Kirigoku. Kirigoku is amazing.
Yeah.
He's endearing. He's innocent. He's sweet.
Yeah, no,
He's
he's
noble. He's
definitely.
heroic. You
Mhm.
know.
No, I feel you. Like he's
Yeah.
definitely one of my favorite characters of all time. I feel like as he got older, and especially once we get past Z, they either write him as an idiot or an asshole most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yeah, I know Goku can be selfish, and he obviously isn't well educated, but like this is a lot. Y'all pushing it. Like the whole reason I'm sure you remember the whole reason why he could fly on the flying Nimbus when he was a kid is because he's surrounded by all these pervs like Master Roshi and Krillin, and like he's pure of heart. So like
Mm-hmm.
Bulma couldn't get on it, no one could get on it. He could get on it, Chi-Chi could get on it because they were pure of heart. So
Mm-hmm.
Goku is a very innocent character in that way, and he has very genuine reasons for why he does stuff.
And that's why I really responded to that show because of him, because of that character.
Yeah,
And it was
most
also, I liked how the show was more about an epic adventure as opposed to just fighting like Dragon Ball Z
yeah.
was. You
No, no,
know?
no, most definitely. I know you right about that. Like I in my heart, I have a slightly stronger connection to Z because I saw all of that before I saw all of Dragon Ball because of the
Mm-hmm.
way we got stuff over here in the West and the way it aired, like on Toonami and whatnot. Even though I did see Dragon Ball originally first on like Sci-Fi Channel randomly, but speaking of the superior series, it goes to OG Dragon Ball all the way, man. From
Mm-hmm.
the better fighting choreography to the even though it had lower stakes, the sense of adventure and the epicness about it definitely has more of an appeal. It really wasn't didn't become anything like Z for real until like probably the second half of the show where it became more
Mm-hmm.
fighting focused. And even then it was on a different scale. It
Yeah,
wasn't
but
like,
they
we're
had
gonna
King Pic.
brawl for
You know
20
the whole
episodes. It's 5 minutes.
they had the whole King Piccolo arc. You know
Mhm.
that was pretty serious.
Yeah, it was. That's honestly. Do you remember at right after the World Martial Arts Tournament ended and everyone was on this great high and everything, and Goku goes in the room and what happened? Krillin's laying there dead, got killed by one of King Piccolo's little boys,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when we knew it's serious now because there had
Yeah.
been death before, there had been consequences before, but we had never seen one of the main cast just straight up get murked like that, and
By the way,
it was
can I
real.
mention something about Z that I don't like? I always
But
thought that Yamcha and Bulma like were gonna get together, and then in Z I find out they don't. Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
yeah, you can chalk that up. I chalk that up to Akira Toriyama really not being a romance writer,
Uh-huh.
nor is he very well versed in writing like complex female characters. It's sort of like you exist, and then when he don't know what to do with you, he just marries you off, and he married her off to Vegeta
With
instead of Yamcha.
Vegeta out of all people, like
And
What?
like the fact that Yamcha stays losing, like I don't remember a single fight aside. I think he beat that one guy during the Baba tournament. He beat that invisible
Yeah.
man because he
I
had the
I
nose
don't like
bleed on him.
I don't like how Yamcha has been disrespected. Honestly, I don't like that.
No, I think Dragon Ball in general has a bad trend of discarding its side characters because the increasing power of the main characters just becomes so much. The gap's just too big.
Hmm.
But they also, because they're all fighters, it's like they really can't do anything. Like Bulma will always be relevant because she's the brains. Of course, her getting eclipsed means nothing because she was never a fighter. So her contribution to the story and the team is always going to be there as long as, obviously she's still going to be a genius. She still has access to some tech. But all the fighters, and that's honestly why like Chi Chi became irrelevant, Android 18, because they can't keep up with the Saiyans. So like what they gonna do? Like
Hmm.
I don't know if you ever watched any of Dragon Ball Super, but that
No.
tried to bring them back to some relevance, but it is real hit or miss for me.
Yeah. Well, I do want to address something. Genuine Comics. What's wrong with My Hero Academia? I started watching it, and so far it's very enjoyable. There's nothing inherently wrong with My Hero Academia if you like anime, and I kind of don't. To me, my connection to that show was All Might. That was what I gravitated towards. But essentially every episode I saw that he wasn't in it was like, oh, I'll just, it's just waiting for him to show up. Like, oh, when's Alma going to show up? You know.
That's really, I'm not gonna lie, man. That's kind of weird. And honestly, the more I thought of that, that's kind of what put me on the trend of maybe I don't know if I can win this fight. Because My Hero, especially in terms of like newer anime, it really has. If you can be into, or at least for shonen, if you can be into shonen anime at all, stuff that involves fighting like that,
Hmm.
I really find it hard to not be invested in My Hero because they have such a diverse cast of characters. Um, but honestly, that brings me to a point that I sort of wanted to address. See what you thought about it,
Okay.
because you often say when you talk about why you don't really connect with anime that it's a disconnect between how the Eastern properties and the Japanese tell their stories versus the more Western approach. Um, I was watching a Literature Devil video a while ago. I'm pretty sure you may have seen it, or at least part of it, that breaks
Hmm.
down East versus West storytelling.
I don't think
And
I've
it,
seen that one, but I've seen some of his other
dude,
videos.
you gotta watch
I
it.
love his Superman. His Superman video is amazing, by the way. If you
Yeah,
haven't
that
seen
was
that one.
definitely the truth. But this one really breaks it down. I watched it a while ago, and I had kind of always known these things, but he put it into words in ways that I had wasn't able to before. When you look at a lot of Eastern stuff, and it's not just anime, it's even lots of martial arts films and even a lot of their folklore, it tends to be more inwardly focused. So it's focusing on like the internal struggles of the main character or character dynamics, character arcs, and the plot can still be important. But what happens more often than not is you'll have the plot that serves to show, okay, this is how the character relates to this thing. This is what they do in this circumstance. Where a lot of Western stuff seems to be much more plot driven. And obviously, this isn't just a one to one thing. Like, there's plenty of Western things that incorporate both. Like for Star Wars,
Mhm.
for example, Return of the Jedi, you got the big fight to destroy the shields for the Death Star, and Leia and Han on the Endor moon. But then you also have Luke and his internal conflict to not be swayed to the dark side, as well as him trying to redeem Vader to get Darth Vader back on the light side of the Force.
Mhm.
And for me, because I've always been more of a character driven person.
Mhm.
Yeah, I know the Death Star. We got to fight a big whoop. Yes, say the galaxy. Get back to Luke. I need to see Luke and Vader. I need to see this rich, drama filled, but still action packed story play out. I need to see how he's going to resist the Emperor's temptation. That's what I was in there for. And I'm pretty sure I read somewhere or I watched a documentary that George Lucas drew a lot of inspiration from Eastern as well as Western stuff because everyone knows he drew a lot from Flash Gordon. But then you also have the old samurai films that he was a fan of. So
Yeah,
I definitely think he took that approach
the
when he was
Kurosawa stuff, and
exactly. But yeah, do you think that that might have something to do with it? I don't know if you ever thought of it from that way.
It's quite possible. Yeah, I mean, definitely. I don't see why not. That's an angle that I hadn't thought of, but yeah, that makes sense.
Because even when you think of a lot of more classically paced superhero stuff in the West, yeah, you do have the drama, you do have the character arc, the internal arc, but so much of it revolves around the external. We have to stop this external threat, or there's this external event that we have to be there for. Very, and then honestly, even if you think of like the way Zack Snyder wrote the Justice League, even if you take all the deconstruction stuff and the dark gritty stuff off the table, that I have never seen a version of Superman who was more inwardly focused. I feel like his current show, Superman and Lois, that does a good like balance between Superman's internal struggles, or not really struggles, but like his internal sort of arc versus the external threat. But when you look at Man of Steel, you watch Batman v Superman, like there's so much navel gazing and contemplating and pontificating. Half the time I'm forgetting I'm watching Superman movie. So I do think that
by the way, at least
have something to do with it.
FYI, I'm gonna put this up just because it's relevant.
Sure.
Go. Right. Yeah. Yes, and Superman Lois is the best Superman media that I've seen in a long time. The first season just finished, and I have very little complaints about it. It wasn't woke. It was genuine, iconic Superman, inspirational, inspiring. Not dark, and no deconstruction of the character.
Right.
I'm kind of shocked in this day and age with DC that we got this show. All right.
Yeah, it really was. They subverted our expectations by not subverting our expectations for Superman. We expected him to be the evil dictator or the cynical asshole. Turns out he was just good old fashioned Superman.
I will say I do enjoy a lot of anime movies, mostly by anything by Studio Ghibli. My favorites are Princess Mononoke, Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away, and there's one more. Nausicaa Valley of the Wind.
That last one I haven't seen. But really the other ones you name, all those are fire.
They're so good. And I also recently saw the I also, there's a couple more, but there's differences. Like, for example, I like Lupin the Third, but Lupin the Third feels more like a French comic book than a manga or an anime, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I definitely get that, and I haven't seen Lupin in a while, but I definitely get what you're talking about.
Yeah, I saw the new CGI movie, and that was actually pretty good.
Word, I gotta check that one out too. Like my excuse me, y'all. Like my list of to check anime is like from here to outside my door. But no. Coming back to the Studio Ghibli real quick. Whenever we're talking about those films, the director has explicitly said that when he writes stuff, he doesn't like relying on like tropes or a lot of typical anime conventions. He writes them more like real people. And that's not only evident in the way they're drawn, but the way they behave, their little idiosyncrasies. Like, I'm sure you've noticed how a lot of their characters, they just sort of feel a little more real, a little more grounded than typical anime characters.
Yeah, I adore those movies. I mean, Howl's Moving Castle is phenomenal. Spirited Away is phenomenal. Those are great movies. Those are amazing movies.
Real stuff. But I definitely think that when it comes to your sort of disconnect from anime, I think a lot of it just comes down to that. Shout out Arno said Miyazaki's the GOAT. Yeah, he is, man. Like all the stuff Hero Geek just named. Personally, right after Princess Mononoke, for me, my favorite is actually probably the most depressing animated movie of all time.
Oh, Grave of the Fireflies, right? You mentioned that to me before.
Yeah, that's the best what do you say? Bennett the Sage, this awesome YouTuber who talks about a lot of older anime. He
Mm-hmm.
described it as the best movie that he never wants to see again. And yeah, like that's definitely it. Yeah, if you
Yeah.
have a strong heart and a strong constitution, go ahead and watch Grave of the Fireflies. It's about these kids in Japan during World War II. Spoiler alert, they don't make it, but you find out literally in like the first 30 seconds that they don't make it. So I'm really not spoiling anything.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But what were some other ones that you like? Because I know we touched on Dragon Ball, talked about My Hero
Yeah.
Academia, obviously. That you don't
Trigun. I love Trigun.
Trigun. See, and now with Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, we're getting more into the space western theme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I really think that first of all, those are like great access points for I would recommend anybody watch those. But I think because they have this nice fusion of sort of Eastern and Western style, philosophy, concepts, it makes them a great entry point for Western fans that maybe aren't as versed with anime. Because I
Mm-hmm.
remember watching Cowboy Bebop in middle school, and I was noticing, I'm like, okay, this is an anime, and this is still like little 13, 14-year-old anime. So I'm still used to everything being all Dragon Ball Z and Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm like, they got black exploitation characters in this. They got crime noir episodes. They got
Yeah.
he fighting the syndicate. Like what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
It blew
It's
my mind that an anime could do something like that.
yeah. Yeah. Can we talk about how Netflix is gonna ruin Cowboy Bebop?
Man, look, I ain't even look it. I've been like halfway invested in folks going off on this entire crap load that's gonna be this show. But honestly, after sitting through Death Note, yeah, I'm kind of just into it's Netflix. What do you expect, Cam?
Yeah. Although there is one. Okay, so there is one anime manga adaptation um, movie that I absolutely swear by, and that is Alita Battle Angel.
Yeah,
That was my favorite movie of 2019. I want to say 2018,
yeah,
2019. I think. Yeah, I went to see that movie as direct opposition to Captain Marvel. Like, I remember, like, the reason for me watching this movie, I'm gonna watch this movie so that I don't watch Captain Marvel. So I went to the
yeah.
theater, and I remember when I was buying my ticket, they had predicted that I was gonna, because that was the weekend that the movie came out, Captain Marvel. Oh, yo,
Mhm.
Captain Marvel? No, Alita Battle Angel, please. So,
I'm bad.
and I loved it. Oh my god, this is an amazing movie,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I'll
so
definitely say that, especially as someone who's been suffering through like terrible live action adaptations of anime, especially from the West, Alita Battle Angel was just a breath of fresh air. Like it was a solid movie, it was a solid adaptation. For the first time in my life, I saw a Western made anime movie that actually looks like the creators give a shit about what is being said and what's being adapted. And they made it look good. They made it fun. They made Alita such a likable, lovable character.
yeah.
She was just the truth. Like her little phrase about not standing by in the presence of evil, like that was my freaking mantra for months, man.
I love the scene where she eats chocolate for the first time. That's so endearing. Oh my god, I loved it.
Yeah, man. Like it's impossible to dislike. I'd say that she's in that category of protagonist that if you don't like her, you need to go to doctor, have them check your soul, see if it's still
Mm,
working. Is it like even fully installed? I think it might have come loose.
yeah.
What
So
is
replicant. Oh yeah, replicant
no, go ahead,
has. It's like I'm going to do what I do whenever I anime and good and directory anime are discussed and hard recommend Haji
one of your
no Hiko.
favorites.
Okay. Yeah. This was brought up before by somebody else who couldn't understand why I didn't like this. And I liked my hero.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like about a year and a half ago, my cousin tried to show me the first couple of episodes of this anime, this boxing anime. And I was like, it's okay, I guess,
Yeah.
I just didn't really, I don't like boxing, and it just didn't do it for me. Like a lot of anime, and the thing is though, a lot of people don't understand that when a lot of people hear me say that I don't like most anime and manga, they take that as a cue to either belittle me or condescend to me, like, oh, you just haven't seen enough anime, or you haven't seen the right anime, or you like that anime, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
That's not a good way to appeal to me, people. It isn't. All right.
Yeah. I
In
think
fact, in fact, if you come at me like that, whatever anime you recommend, I'm gonna like purposely ignore.
yeah, you went from not being a fan to being like a reverse fan, an anti fan. You're gonna
Yeah,
avoid that one.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
I
you
think it
know,
kind of comes with the territory of being a nerd or a fan of a thing that you passionately like something, and when you hear someone else doesn't like it, you instantly want to recommend your favorite version of that thing. But you also have to sort of taper that, because when you come at it from like the position you just talked about, and you're like, oh, you just don't like the right ones, or you only saw the mainstream trash. You need to see this hidden gem here, blah blah blah. You need to see this, and it just comes off as very elitist, and no one
mhm.
likes being talked down to.
Yeah,
I,
and
I I've had moments like that even with like comics, because I only recently started getting heavily into comics the way I am now. But like if I would give my opinion on something and I'd say, oh, well, I actually haven't read the comic yet, or I don't know, oh, you don't know this particular version, issue 58,000, written by Joe Romita Jr., you're a pleb, you'd never talk about this again. Like, yeah,
yeah,
thanks, man. You're a credit to your hobby, man. You can
yeah,
do what
and
you, friendo.
God forbid I mention I prefer dubs over subs. Oh my god.
Yeah, well, that's just more elitism, and that's honestly, as someone who's been on both sides of that argument, I'm just completely done with it. I'm just like, look, this is entertainment. Whatever way is most effective and entertaining for you to watch it, watch it. Okay, I truly do not care. Like there are I have mutuals and followers who will unironically praise like '90s dubs. I'm talking about the type of stuff that would make even you roll your
Yeah,
eyes to the back of
I
your head.
okay.
And I'm like,
I have a
whatever.
funny story. I have a funny story about this. Someone recommended what's that one anime about the samurai who uses the reverse blade?
Oh, Rurouni
Um,
Kenshin.
Rurouni Kenshin, right? And, I might check it out someday. But I started watching the dub of it. It was like the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Man, it is so
It's
hard.
so
I almost
horrible.
if it wasn't for my love for the story, it would be in one of those categories of dubs that I just can't watch anymore,
Mm-mm.
because I barely liked it back then. I'm not sitting through like a late '90s, early 2000s dub. Man, you can't pay me enough to watch some of that stuff back. But if someone else likes it, that's fine. What sweat is that off my back if they like the cringy dubs? Y'all can like all the cringy dubs y'all want. Just don't
Yeah.
try to force me to watch it. Real quick, shout out to John Douglas who
Yeah,
just came
he
through.
made it. Yeah, like
Like I
better late than
love all
never.
the recognizables that are in the
Yeah,
chat right
yeah,
now.
that's
That's what's up.
great. Um, because it's just I don't prefer subs or dubs anime. Whichever I see first is the version I'm rolling with. Tired of watching Super with subs and Goku. Oh yeah, the Japanese voice for Goku is like the worst thing
First of all,
ever.
you're
It's an
wrong.
80-year-old woman. An 80 year
First
old
of all,
woman.
you're
Okay.
wrong. You're allowed to be wrong. I'll let you be wrong on that one. Okay. Shout out to the greatest voice actor in the sub industry. Shout out to Masako Nozawa. I hope that woman lives to be 100, and I hope she voices Goku until she takes her last breath, literally. Okay.
Really?
Yes. But it's
Okay.
just it's one of those things where, because and they do that a few times in anime. It's a very weird pairing, especially from someone from the West. We see someone like Goku as an adult who's like hyper masculine, like rippling muscles, punching villains into moons, making them explode. And then when he power ups, he just sounds like an emphysemic buzzard. But for me, when I was little and I first heard it, yeah, it was real off putting. But then the more I watched it, the more I just kind of got used to it. And then I realized that that's his same voice actress from when he was a little kid. and they just wanted to keep the voice more consistent, just deeper as he got older. So I'm like,
all right, I can't get past it. I can't do it.
You know,
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I mean, I understand. It is a lot, and especially I'll say, especially if you first heard Goku in English, going over to his Japanese, because it's not like where you have a lot of roles where they essentially sound the same. You know, obviously a little like octave difference in some degree, but they essentially seem like the same person. Like Vegeta sounds like Vegeta in every language. Piccolo sounds like Piccolo. Goku, they barely sound like the same species, let alone gender. But like, I'm just cool with it. Just go with it.
Right. You got any more for me, or can we take questions? Anybody have any questions?
Let's go ahead and take some questions from the live chat.
Yeah, so drop any questions, and I'll scroll up and see if there's any that.
Mm-hmm.
Someone mentioned Fist of the North Star. I know a lot of people that like that. My cousin loves that anime,
bro. But now that's one. I don't know how much you can get into like post-apocalyptic stuff.
I know that it's pretty gory, so I'm like,
yeah, that too. Like that gore, and with that, there's no in between. Like the dubs back in the day would try to do weird filter stuff in edits, and it just makes it look like you're on an acid trip. So your options with Fist of the North Star is either to feel like you're on drugs when you watch it, or you watch unreasonable levels of gore, which again I love because heathen. You know, I love debate stuff like that. But
I did, you know what? Yeah. I did like Ninja Scroll, the original Ninja Scroll.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of dug that one, and then I know they made an anime series based on Ninja Scroll, and it was like terrible. It was really bad, so I didn't even bother. But the original movie is really good. Yeah. Code Geass. Oh my God, no! I hate Code Geass.
You done brought up another one, John.
John, why'd you gotta go there?
See, I've been talking to this man about these series for like the past 5 months of some change.
Oh no, I can't.
Man, I already know what they're gonna bring up.
No.
Go ahead, tell them about Code. How you feel about Code Geass?
So my cousin recommended Code Geass. I'm like, okay, fine. I started watching it, and I don't remember the main character's name, but he's basically a terrorist.
Oh yeah, Lelouch,
right? He's this terrorist, and he's a horrible person, and he kills a bunch of people. And okay, so I didn't like that. Like, okay, why am I watching this? And then there's two characters. I don't remember their names, but there's this princess with pink hair, and then there's this other guy who drives this really cool like mech, whatever, like for the other side.
Yeah.
So before I stopped watching the show, I found out that they kill off this really sweet, pure-hearted princess who was one of my favorite characters in the show. They kill her off later on, just murder her. And then the one heroic noble character, they had him like murder his father or something like that. And completely like, so I'm like, okay, then I'm just gonna stop watching this show if it's gonna do that kind of crap.
Hold up, John's schooling you here. He's schooling you about.
Oh boy.
Look, man, you opened yourself up, so you got to take it. You got to take it.
See, he's not. Let me see what he said. He's not a terrorist. He's a freedom fighter. Slaves people. Big tooth. I don't. What do you say after freedom fighter there? I don't get it. TRT, big to tear down a tyrannical monarchy that enslaves people. Okay, yeah, he does it using terrorism.
I think what we're having here, John, is and feel free to correct me here, Geek, if I mischaracterize any of your positions here, but stuff that has a lot of sort of gray or ambiguity or things where
John knows
there's someone
this.
character is a good guy
John
but
knows
does
this.
bad stuff. That's just not going to fly with him.
No, it's not going to fly with me. John knows this. He knows me. He's known me long enough on Twitter. He's seen all my rants, so he knows this is where I stand on this kind of thing.
Like
He
I've
knows.
tried so hard to get it down. Like, no man, these guys, even though they do some questionable stuff or they have more gray morals, they're not evil. They're not bad people. You know, you can have characters that do things for the right reason, but sometimes, and that's something that anime excels in. There are a lot of protagonists and stories that involve people who do good things, but a lot of their methods are questionable or their motivations aren't purely altruistic. And honestly, I like stuff that sort of poses those difficult questions or has those more complex characters. Not that I have anything against more, I guess, more kind of cut and dry heroes, but I think that both are things that we really need in storytelling.
Well, it's funny you should mention that because you essentially touch on another point why I don't like a lot of anime, because they do dive a lot into that kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think out of every point of contention, that's probably the one that I will see the least ground gained in. I think given enough time and the right series, you could be made to budge on most points. But like this for you is like it's not even like a fence post. It's like a mountain. Like if I can find a way to rip a mountain out of the ground, then I'll probably be able to get you to budge on this stuff. But like especially after seeing you talk about even some Western stuff that deals, and whenever anything dealing with deconstruction or dark and gritty hero stuff comes up, I already know I'm talking to a brick wall. I ain't going. There's no point.
Oh
No.
gosh, what does John say now? I mean, MCU's desire to tear down his own family's empire was because of the political infighting resulted in his mother's death and his sister being blind and crippled. Yeah, no, I get that, and I did get far enough to know some of what he's saying there. But I can't get past some of the stuff that he did on the show. I can't do it, and I can't, and I also can't get past the fact that they essentially ruined and killed the only other characters that I related to or liked. So,
Which is another running theme in anime that Hero Geek tries and puts down. He'll find some characters to attach to, some ones that actually either hold his attention or that he likes, and they either get killed or they retire or they aren't relevant in the story no more. So if the one thing that's keeping your attention leaves, then it's just kind of,
yeah,
you know,
same thing with All Might.
yeah, exactly.
You know,
Which is unfortunate because Code Geass, I haven't seen it in good lord in like 10 years, which is why I'm not being as vocal in this discussion because I really need to go back and watch it again. But, I really do think it's one of the better, more recent anime that really has lots of complex things and it's just cool. A lot of stuff, especially mech stuff, is like if it ain't Gundam or Gurren Lagann, then like a lot of folks don't mess with mech stuff like I wish they would, but like
no,
Code Geass
mech stuff is good, and I want to get more into like I did enjoy like 8th MS Team and a lot of the Gundam Wing stuff, which is part of the reason I like Gunsword, because Gunsword is like Trigun meets Gundam Wing, and it's just really cool marriage of the two genres.
Yeah.
And I like it a lot. Someone mentioned Tanya the Evil. I think I know what that one is. Is that the one about the serial killer?
What's it called now?
Tanya the Evil.
Tanya the Evil.
Yeah, Rebecca mentioned that
don't
one.
know about that one honestly, but the name alone will probably get me to watch at least the first couple episodes.
Yeah. Oh, you could bet. I mean, if he says it's off the table, it probably is off the table for me, like hands down.
Can't get you to watch the shows about the serial killers. You're never gonna be a stan of Death Note.
Nope.
It's sad, man. You don't want to watch like take a potato chip and eat it.
Well, I just, I what? I don't know if I don't know if a lot of people would consider this anime, but I did like Robotech. So
how would that not be an anime?
I don't know, because a lot of purists are, oh, that's not anime. It's not the original Japanese, Macross Plus. So they freak out about that.
That's not a particularly head ass take. Just because it's a localized version of an anime doesn't
Yeah,
disqualify it from being an anime.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just that's weird.
It
That's
is,
and I've
and
heard people say that before, and I always roll my eyes. I'm like, a
yeah,
show is a show. Just because they changed stuff for the American version doesn't mean it's not the
yeah.
show.
I
Even
have,
with drastic changes, it's still the
yeah,
show.
I have Robotech on DVD. At least the first arc, the first season of that. I have it on DVD. So,
Yeah.
um, and on the same token, even though I'm not a big anime fan, I hate when people call like Avatar: The Last Airbender an anime. No, it's not. It's not an anime.
Yeah,
Stop
there's
being
like
ignorant about that. Come
if
on.
someone unironically calls like that or the Boondocks anime, I'm like, okay, clearly y'all okay. I don't even have the time or the patience.
Yeah.
But like clearly, especially for stuff like those two series, because a lot of stuff in the early aughts, as they say, the early 2000s, they directly were inspired by a lot of anime aesthetics and would even outsource their animation a lot of times
Yeah.
because anime was on the come up. And you
So
you even
yeah,
remember like
exactly. Don't
Teen
don't
Titans
call
had that
yeah.
aesthetic a lot of times.
Don't call Avatar: The Last Airbender an anime. Don't call the 2011 Thundercats an anime. They have influences, but they're still told by Western people, by Western storytelling standards. So they still have that appeal for me. So that's why I'm able to enjoy those a lot more. You know.
Mhm. One
Um,
other thing that I do notice about a lot of anime is when it comes to the pacing and a lot the way that a lot of the story is structured, more in terms of more the technical side of things. A lot of anime, especially long form anime,
slow
is
burn.
is a slow burn and it's told almost like it's just one narrative that just keeps going
Yeah.
versus more Western stuff where it tends to be more episodic, that where it'll have occasional points where there's a longer narrative, like your 3-4 parter episode, or you don't have your issues of comics, more that single issue, and then they'll get to that one big point where it's like a one big run. But it tends to be more bite-sized, and Western things, they're told in more ways where you can sort of do a one and done. You can jump in at almost any point past the first episode
Hmm.
and kind of be on board. You can't really do that for,
No,
again,
a
more of
lot
your
of
long
anime.
term like
Yeah,
shonen
and
shows.
and and there. By the way, people, there's no way I'm watching Fairy Tale or One Piece or Bleach or any of those that have more than 300 episodes. That's not gonna happen. Okay,
If it qualifies as one of the big three, don't even waste your time bringing it up to him, because it is
no.
that usually means it's been out forever and it's just been ongoing forever, which means he ain't gonna watch it. It's too long. And
Too
I'll
long.
even agree with that point, because the only reason I know anything about Naruto is because my one friend was
And I
like
started
a
watching.
diehard fan. And I played the video
Yeah.
games with her.
Yeah, I started watching Naruto, but then I kind of like fell off, and then I found like by the time I even remotely thought about getting back into it, it was already on the Baruto thing. I'm like, there's no way, no.
Yeah, no, and then all if Burrito, you can just leave him on the floor because I ain't even touching that one.
Yeah,
Like that show is trash. So even it could be one episode. I'm not watching it no
but
more.
you know what? If a lot of you haven't heard of Gunsword, do check it out.
Mhm.
It's got a lot of reminds me of like Trigun. It's got elements of Cowboy Bebop mixed with like a lot of it even has some Voltron influences too. There's an episode in there that has like a lot of Voltron stuff, inspired stuff in it.
Mhm.
It's actually pretty awesome. I'm thinking about watching it again. Actually, I should probably
Yeah.
check it out again. Watch it again.
I
Um,
I need to finish it, but it will happen because I do like what I saw. I really like the whole idea of the sort of tortured protagonist with like a dark past of some point, some
mhm.
type, or like he's living with some type of regret. And
But he's also a goofball.
yeah, right. Like that is one
Yeah.
trope that I love just in fiction in general, and anime does it like no one.
They
Like
did it. They did it with Trigun.
Yeah,
where
the
you
sort of unexpected badass, the
mhm.
goofy badass. Like on
The
one
goofy
hand,
badass, yeah.
goofy, you weird, real eccentric, but you're also a badass, and you also have some tortured past, some sins that you're trying to atone for, some big mistake you made. Because that's Rurouni Kenshin right there. You know, he always walk around. He almost looks aloof and clueless
If
sometimes.
they ever do a better dub of Rurouni Kenshin, I might consider checking that one out too.
There's some newer takes on it, like some newer shows that you would probably
Because
be
I do
better
like the
suited
premise of the
to.
character that he decides to not be a killer anymore. I love that. You know me. You know I love that kind of
Yeah,
stuff. So,
yeah.
um, but yeah,
It's just
so
the oldness of it with the dub, and it's just you can't
yeah,
sit through it.
yeah. All right, I
Yeah,
think that's pretty much it. I don't think anybody has any other questions for me or anything else to say. Do you,
last
Animaine?
call, people. Last call for alcohol.
Hold on. Someone oh, he goes. Robotech. Yeah, Robotech did have a really good PS2 game. I did play that one a
That
lot.
I never played and might amend that at some point.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I remember playing it. He goes, what I like about anime. Well, I'm gonna put it up.
Okay.
What I like about anime is that it can tell stories with a unique and interesting visual flair that doesn't work in any other medium. Yeah, I mean, I can admit that. Um, yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
no. I think that whenever we talk about like the sort of great migration, the great Eastern migration, if you will, of more Western people going more over to anime and manga, it's because there's this sense of unbridled, untempered creativity over there. Where I mean, and obviously that industry has its own issues with the overworking people and stuff, and certain practices by certain studios. But in general, like there's such a richness and a sincerity that stories are told in anime and manga that unfortunately we're just not getting right now in the American space. One day,
Yeah,
hopefully, we'll get back to that point of just rampant creativity. People just telling whatever crazy ass story they want. But right now, it's just more watered down cape shit that no one's even invested in anymore. More deconstruction of classically loved characters, more dark and gritty takes on stuff that was never meant to be dark and gritty.
yeah.
8,000.
It's just tough ass. Do I like broccoli? Yeah, I like broccoli. I like broccoli.
Man, look.
That's your question. I like broccoli. Yeah.
That's a sign that it's time to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right. I know you got another live stream soon, right?
Yeah, pretty soon. I do want to get in a little bit of wee shut eye before I go into that, so I can be
What time is
bright
that one?
for that. That one's actually not till 5,
Oh,
but
okay.
I do want to get some cooking done. I'm gonna slave away and try not to burn my
Yeah.
house down and get some sleep.
Sounds good.
But yeah, thank you so much, man, for having me
Yeah,
on.
this was great. This
Like,
was
shout
great.
out to you. Shout out to the chat. Like,
Yeah,
y'all were
shout out
so active the whole time. I love that.
everybody who showed up. You're super awesome. You know, I didn't know how successful this was gonna be. I wasn't expecting anybody, honestly.
Man, look,
But
we got a couple followers, but those followers are ride or die. Like y'all are the truth, and you also got to remember that a lot of folks are in different time zones, different parts of the world, man. Like I got
yeah,
folks in Australia,
I mean,
Italy, all that.
freaking what's his name? Yeah, Dave Brink from Genuine Comics. He
Yep.
showed up.
He sure
he
did.
said he said John Bryan's She-Hulk, definitive She-Hulk. Yes,
Yeah.
I would say that. Yeah, he showed up, which is pretty awesome. I mean, he's an amazing guy, and I want to check out more of his characters. Like I might even check out Perfect 10, even though he assured me it's not my thing. He's such a cool guy. He's just very likable.
And that's how you know they got you, when you're even willing to check out the stuff that you don't even think you'll like.
Yeah.
Or they don't think you'll like, but you'll read it just because it's them. That's how
that's what happened with where is it? I have it right here. All right. I'll just mention it. Jack Iron Steel Cowboy. Like I had an interaction with the creator of that on Twitter a while ago, and it was so pleasant and just so amazing. Like I backed the book, and I got it, and I read it, and I liked it. I'm gonna do a review on it. So
awesome.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. But yeah, this was definitely fun. And whenever you have other ideas of stuff you want to have live chats about and stuff, just let me know.
Yeah.
I'll
Well, I
come
guess
through.
one
It's mad
person
people
said
to come through.
something. Hold
Hmm.
on. There are plenty of great hero stories out there. Eureka 7, Outlaw Star. We talked about Outlaw Star before, so that's one that I know about. And I know about Gurren Lagann. I don't know about Eureka 7 though.
Yeah,
So
that's a new one even for me. I'm gonna have to Google that one.
yeah.
But yeah, it's unfortunate that Outlaw Star really isn't your speed right now because it really is.
I might have to be in the right headspace maybe because with anime it's kind of a slog. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, someone recommends an anime and I'm like, and I'm compelled to check it out, but at the same time I'm not. I'm like, oh, okay, it's an anime I gotta watch. Okay.
Yeah, I think when I get recommendations, what I try to do is I try to take any expectations off the table. I try to take whatever preconceived notions I have off the table and just sort of watch it and try to take it for what it is. Because if someone recommends, like if someone said, "Hey, anime, do you check out Lord of the Rings? Okay, you need to watch this one." If I just go off my mind, oh, it's gonna be years before I watch it. It's going to be years because
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like sitting through all that long stuff that I've never even been invested in. But if I take all that off the table and just give it a chance, I might find something in there that I actually like.
All right. So
And real quick, RK
he's
Burns, yeah, he asked, what exactly about
what
All Star
what
Bucks?
exactly about All Off Star bugs me? I don't know. I just I started watching it. I don't know. I just kind of like just kind of
Did you
I have
feel
no
that
answer.
did you not care about any of the characters? Did you not care about the story? Did stuff not make sense?
No, it's none of that. I don't have a good answer for
Next
that
time,
one.
it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah.
Sometimes, uh, kind of like my guy Jay here just says, I know this may be a little weird. Feel free to refuse.
Why do
Sometimes I guess sometimes stuff just ain't for you. Sometimes, and you can give it a shot. I'm glad that you give stuff a genuine shot, but sometimes it just ain't clicking with you, and that's good enough reason for you not
Yeah,
to
I mean,
go through
I'm
something.
not going to sit here and say that anime sucks. It doesn't suck. It sucks for me, but I'm not going to say that it's the worst thing or that it's badly made or anything. I just
Mhm.
don't find a lot of it appealing.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, as a fan and nerd in general, that's all I ask. I know everything ain't gonna be everybody bag, but other people can like it and it can be completely
Oh,
fine. There's
I
probably
yeah.
stuff in there that you like about it. You just, you have your certain tastes, and majority of the medium falls outside of those tastes, so you have a
Mhm.
very hard time connecting with it.
Anime Burns said usually you can give something 3 episodes and that will decide it. Yeah, I gave Outlaw Star 3 episodes. That's the amount of episodes I saw,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and
So
I
yeah.
and then when it came time for me to be able to watch the next episode, I just didn't feel like it.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think especially at this point, 3 episodes is more than enough time to tell. Not necessarily if you'll love it, but if you're at least interested. Like if it takes 3 episodes and you still don't give a damn, it's probably just not your thing, which is
Yeah.
fine, perfectly fine.
Yeah, I mean that's just the way it is. I mean,
That's just the way it is.
I'll tell you one thing: if they decide to come out with a prequel manga all about All Might, that's the very first manga I'm going to read.
Mm-hmm. Cause
You
the
know,
opening to the first My Hero movie won't enough for him, y'all.
no, it was not a. I
He
need
need
a
a whole
whole.
chapter. He need a whole show about it. About the
Yeah,
early days of All Might.
yeah,
If
definitely.
it
Like,
got to end with him getting his famous injury and all that, so he can go
yeah.
on and set the stage for the show.
So
But he
make that
want that
into
pre.
make that into a manga, and then later on adapt it into an anime, and I'm on board.
Yeah,
Yeah, do
it'll
that. Do
happen.
that. Do that.
What's going on, Ryu Maverick?
Yeah, you're kind of late.
You came through, man. We starting to shut down, but I'm glad you
Yeah.
came through anyway.
Yeah, definitely. But we'll do this again.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Thank all y'all for coming out and hanging out with us for this past
Definitely.
hour.
Thank you all. Yeah, for sure. This was super fun. This was a lot more successful than I thought it was going to be. So.
And this is only beginning.
Yeah.
That man.
All right.
All y'all be good. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right, man. Have a good day, everybody.
Deuces.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right.